Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. So, in the last episode, we kind of ran into another one of those pain trains where, again, a series of unfortunate events happened. But one good thing did come about, and that was that Gloria got legitimized now. So, she's actually a member of the Bronte family. Stefan is somewhere pissed as he usually is, and everything else in between. But yeah, other than that, we did get the situation with Gloria improved. However, I did go back a little bit. I went all the way back to my youth, actually, and I actually improved some stats a little bit. They're pretty much the same, actually. So if I go over here to personality, you'll see that these are pretty much the same. I don't have as much theology, unfortunately, but everything else is virtually the same. Manipulation, scheming, all that is still pretty much the same. However, if you come over here to occupation, you'll notice that this is now an 8. I've got it back to an 8. I actually managed to get it up to a 9, and then the event happened and that kind of threw it back to a 7, and then I managed to get that back up to an 8. So I'm still on track for that. Also, I managed to turn around and get the family House Bronte up to a 10. And so yeah, that actually kind of surprised me. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it, but I should be able to turn around and get that event coming up here pretty soon for that. So we'll see how that goes, but that'll help me out in the end because, as you know, if you come over here to Destiny, one of the destinies is to become ennobled by the sword, but also you want to become favored by the overseer. And you need either the glorious bloodline or a family of means in order to turn around and do that. And the way you get it is by having wealth plus wealth that equals 10. So probably after this event, I'll turn around and get that, but we'll see how certain things go. Anywho, let's jump into this and see what this dangerous haul is about. Now that Archduke Milanatus has yielded in his struggle for power, the city of Anazet is enjoying a moment of respite. But your gut tells you to stay on your guard. The powerful Archnean noble has relinquished some of his power, and someone will surely make an attempt to seize it. You tell your people to watch the city closely and report anything even slightly suspicious to you right away. At first, they mistake your unease for unfounded paranoia, but your gut feeling soon proves to be true. Late one night, Alita barges into the print shop, clearly excited. Fod's found something big. You've got to see this. She takes you to the north gate. Fod is waiting for you in a dark back street next to a sizable wooden crate. The old man lifts the heavy lid with a groan. Here, my friend, take a look. You take a step closer and freeze involuntarily. Alita manages a nervous chuckle. Fod wipes beads of sweat from his brow. Inside the crate are at least 24 gunpowder muskets, along with bullet pouches full of lead balls. With a couple of kegs of gunpowder, this would be enough to arm a full squad. You cannot help but recall the convicts' revolt in Illyria 3 years ago. Nowadays, anyone even suspected of owning a firearm similar to this gun they sent is sent to the gallows at once. Where did Fod find all this? The old man lifts a finger, eager to enlighten you. So I was doing my watch, just like you asked, in a nice little place by the gate. And then I see a loaded wagon with 3 sturdy fellows on it. They look every bit like your ordinary workmen, except there's something funny about them. They keep whispering and fidgeting, all odd-like. So I think, maybe they're the last straw, right? I wanted to shush them. Tell them to calm down, but the twins told me I better wait. And them, bam, they got stopped by a patrol. The gendarmes keep asking them questions. Before you know it, they ask to see what's in the crate. Well, that was that. The youngsters were all over the gendarmes before I could blink, and they did a real number on them. I tell you what, the gendarmes barely managed to cry for help before they all got knocked out. Then the guys started bickering. They ended up dumping the crate down an alley and scattering. The gendarmes came to and stumbled after them. Everybody forgot about the crate. I thought I ought to see what all the fuss was about, and when I saw what was in there, I dragged the crate off the side and called for you right away. You give the packing crate a closer look and notice a trademark branded on the side. This is a crate from one of Mayor Egmont's mines. They usually contain silver. So Egmont is smuggling firearms into the city now, and men who know about it are being hunted by the prefecture. They will not be able to hide for long, and once they're finally caught, it will not be long before Philippe hears about these weapons. You stare at the guns, lost in thought. Where did Egmont procure these weapons? Are there more of them stashed throughout the city? You might not have all the answers, but you still have to do something. I want to keep these. I am not going to report this to Philippe. Let's see. Now, if I keep Egmont's secret, I'll lose a spy network, which I also managed to improve. But unrest will go up by 1. It'll put it at 9. I don't know if I want to do that right now because, yeah. And if I seize the guns for myself, Mayor Egmont will be arrested. Oh, that's no good. Shit. Stockpile of arms. Okay, so what do I need? In order to get the free city of Anisette, I need unrest 8, Mirror Egmont secret plot and spy networks less than or equal to 6. Last straw's right. Unrest need to be a 9 or a 10. Free man favored by the overseer. That's what I need. Master of Anisette. Spy network. Need to make a deal with Remy. I can't do that at all. I thought there was one with that. Stockpile of arms. You have enough weapons to arm a squad of rebels loyal to you alone. Interesting. I could technically do that if I got that. But I feel like that would put me in a bad position, so I will keep Egmont's secret safe. This will move the unrest to a 9, which would actually be interesting because if I turn around and do that, then that leaves me with the other destiny. Yeah. Let's see. Which destiny was that? Oh yeah, the last straw's riot. Okay. Now I wonder if you can have multiple outcomes or can you only have one of these outcomes? Because I would prefer to just have the free city of Anisette. Okay, I will go ahead and I'm gonna keep Egmont's secret and that'll give me +2 with him. You tell Alita and Far to find the smugglers as soon as possible. They are to use all of your people to distract the gendarmes from the chase. The smugglers need to escape pursuit, no matter the cost. And when we find them, what do we do with them? They are to take them to a safe house, by force if need be. And the guns? You will return the guns to their rightful owner. Thought and Alita nod knowingly and hurry away. Once you are alone, you conceal the crate from prying eyes and walk to Egmont's house. Egmont opens the door himself, still bleary-eyed. He looks surprised. Darren, do you have any idea how late it is? You walk in without waiting for an invitation. This matter is too important for politeness. You quickly inform him about the crate of guns and the smugglers on the run from the prefecture and the last straw. If Sir Egmont wants to keep his secret hidden from his worst enemies, he needs to explain himself. There seems to be some kind of misunderstanding, Darren. You repeat the question more forcefully. Now is not the time to hem and haw. If Egmont is planning an armed revolt, he needs to tell it to you straight. He made a big mistake by keeping you out of the loop. Fine, Brante, you're right. Your friend Sophia talked me into it. She claims the revolt will fail without good weapons, no matter how just our cause is. The people need something that will enable them to stand their ground against the noble militia and the legions. Firearms are our best options. She told me to keep it a secret and tell no one. So you didn't know. You keep your eyes strained on Egmont, but he seems to be telling the truth. Does Philippe know? No, even he would never. You tell Egmont to keep talking. Sophia made a deal with someone in Illyria. I don't know who. I'm just a middleman. My men take the guns, bring them to the city, and leave them for Sophia's people to stash somewhere. I hesitated when she told me this, Darren. But these guns are the people's only chance at victory. We had to do it. Egmont's voice trails off. You tell him where to find the crate. His men will return shortly. He can rest easy now. His secret, Sophia's secret, is safe with you. You have my thanks, Darren. I'm truly sorry we didn't trust you with this right away. I'm sure Sophia only kept you out of it to keep the plan safe. The fewer people know about it, the less risk there is. With that, you leave his house and return to the moonlit streets of Anisette. Somewhere in the city are dozens of gun stashes waiting, hidden. And when the time comes, the common estate will take up arms, and then there will be blood. Alright, so my relations with Mayor Egmont has went up by 2. People are really ready for a struggle. I need y'all to slightly calm down, though, because if that goes over into a 10, that's going to push me in one of those rain situations that I hate so much. Alright, family of means. This event is a consequence of your previous action. So yeah, I got that wealth 10, so let's deal with that. Over the past few years, your family has grown wealthy beyond imagination. Whatever money you had, you took good care of and made more. All thanks to your uncanny aptitude for profit. The word hardship is long forgotten at home. Whatever luxury you crave, you can afford it. The entire city knows that the Brante family is an affluent one. It is late in the evening on a sultry summer day. The sun has set, but the heat still lingers in the garden. Father slowly measures the porch with his steps, striding from one corner to the other. My son, look how we've prospered. If you ask me, we Brontes have grown too used to our humble way of life. We don't have to be thrifty anymore. Let's invest our wealth in the family. We won't run out of money anytime soon. You've done so much to ensure our prosperity, son. It's only fair for you to decide where we should invest our fortune. Okay. You cast a glance over the family estate, thinking, how will you spend your wealth? Okay, we can invest in the house. Either way, we get a family of means. If we invest in the house, unity will go up by 1, wealth will go down by 2. And our willpower will go up by 5. If we host a gala, we get a family of means. Reputation goes up by 1, wealth goes down by 2, willpower goes up by 5. If we expand the library, we still get family of means, wealth goes down by 1, theology goes up by 1, diplomacy goes up by 1, manipulation goes up by 1, scheming goes up by 1, eloquence goes up by 1, and valor goes up by 1. Ooh. Well, since I have family of means, I really don't need to worry about reputation now, since I have that destiny. Let's see. But I do need the willpower, so there's that. I don't get willpower with this. And most of these stats, I feel like they're okay. The only one that could possibly screw me is maybe eloquence. It's at a 15, but let's see, reputation, unity. I think I'll go ahead and do this, because if I do this, then our unity will be maxed out again. My willpower will go up as well too. So yeah, because I don't need the reputation now. So let's invest in the house. The family estate is the most important place in the life of everyone who bears the Brante name. The past few years have been unkind to the family dwelling. It is high time you fixed it up. You hired crews of builders, stonemasons, woodworkers, and gardeners. In the rooms on the roof, in the garden, everywhere you look, the house is buzzing with work. Elegant new furniture and decorations are ordered to suit the family's taste. The familiar exterior of your parents' estate remains the same. You went to great pains to carefully preserve it. but it has been renewed, improved, and reinforced. Your family agrees. You have taken their every suggestion and desire into account. And now, after a day of work, you hurry back home eagerly. What a joy it is to see the family home. What a delight it is to be here again. All right. So yeah, we're back to now our family is completely unified again. We're in harmony, but our influence went down. I mean, our wealth went down by 2. We're affluent now, but we do have the destiny of a family of means. So, and my willpower went up again. So, it's that. All right, I got an achievement for that lavish lifestyle. Really hope I won't have to go back and play the game again. Deathbed. Deafening silence fills your home. You are standing by Mother's bedside. So are Father, Gloria, and Nathan. For an entire day, Mother has been feverish, barely conscious. Gloria never leaves her side, not even for a minute. Nathan has even stopped drinking so he can offer your sister his awkward help. Mother's health deteriorated greatly over the past year, and fighting in the family home has dealt a great blow to her. She's been bedridden for a month. You've been to every doctor and folk healer, but no one can help her. They all tell you the same thing. Lady Lydia's life is in the hands of the twins now. If she passes away, she will not come back. And so you wait by Mother's bed in sorrow, hoping that she will regain consciousness. There's a long silence that no one has the courage to break. Then at last you hear Nathan's meek voice. Mother, it's me, Nathan. Can you hear me? Mother suddenly rises on her elbows. She looks around, her eyes unseeing, beads of sweat forming on her pale forehead. My son, where are you? Nathan takes Mother by her thin, emaciated hand. She leans closer to look at him, struggling to recognize his face. Stefan, were you playing with your younger brothers in the garden? You must be all dirty. Come here. You may not be my son, but I care for you as though you were my own. Oh, what a nice, happy family we have. A blessing from the twins. Nathan is unsure what to do or say. Father strokes his wife's hair. His eyes are 2 orbs of searing, indescribable pain. You're a little confused, Lydia. This is Nathan, and the children are all grown up now, remember? Mother's eyes were bright and alive just now, but the next moment they grow dim again. Her head falls weakly back into the pillow. You're right, my husband. The children grew up, but I was never able to teach them how to live in peace with each other. I let you down, Robert. You made a mistake when you took me into your home. You saved my daughter and me from a life of poverty, and how did I repay you? Gloria cannot take it anymore. What are you saying, Mother? Don't you dare blame yourself. You did your best. You did all you could. Father looks away, unable to hold back the deluge of tears. Mother's voice, so faint now, calls out to you. And Darren, where is he? With great care, you move closer to Mother. You answer her quietly. You're here, right by her side. Darren, I'm so happy to know you're here. I always knew greatness awaited you, ever since you were a little boy. What a shame I won't be there to see it. I couldn't save the Brante family. I will face my punishment at my final judgment. But don't worry, my dears. I'm ready to stand before the twins. Lydia Bronte's voice trails off. No longer a voice, just a final whisper. Will you accept your mother's death, or will you find a way to fight for her life? I can't unite the family because Gloria's not at home? Is that what that says? Gloria's not at home? Well, Gloria can't be at home, I guess. Okay, but I can share my strength, and she will recover, and the unity will go up by 1. Okay. And if I accepted the loss, oof. Bad things. So yes, let's go ahead and share our strength. And for that, I needed to have unity greater than or equal to 8. and I need willpower greater than or equal to 0. So let's do it. You will not give up so easily. There is a reason you have fought tooth and nail to keep this family together all these years, resolving every dispute within the Brante home. You lean down to Mother's ear and begin to whisper. No, Mother has not failed anyone. She's always given her all to this family. She taught you well, and she took good care of you. She has nothing whatsoever to blame herself for. Your family is torn apart by quarrels, but you are still a family because of Mother. She has no right to abandon you in this dark hour. With a great effort, Mother lifts her head slightly. She looks over the faces of her family huddled around her bed. Gloria with her arms folded on her chest in an unspoken prayer. Nathan pressing himself timidly against his sister. Stefan, his head on Father's shoulder, his eyes full of sorrow. A faint, humble glimmer of hope appears in Mother's eyes. We are still a family. You stroke Mother's hair gently. Yes, we are. We are all Brontes. We are a family. And as long as we remember that we are one, we will weather any storm and overcome any strife. Times are changing, and the family must face these changes. But was it not Mother who taught us to face life with humility? Mother sits up in bed. The color returns to her pallid cheek. Mother, you're not leaving us. Brother, your words are better than any medicine. Lydia. Darren is right. I simply cannot abandon you like this. The twins only know what you'll get up to without me around. The family laughs with relief. The days pass and Mother's condition continues to improve. The illness that once seemed so intraceable slowly releases her from its clutches. Moreover, the family squabbles have stopped for her sake, at least for now. Alright, so the family is now unified. I have lost 10 willpower. Jesus Christ. But I'm still ready for action. And Mother has recovered. And I got an achievement for that. We are still family. Okay, so things are looking somewhat good. Oh shit. This event is a consequence of your previous action. Bad blood, Stefan. Oh boy. A broken branch. The sitting room is brightly illuminated by dozens of candles. Today, the tapestry bearing the Brante family crest, an oak branch wrapped in chains, hangs above the fireplace. The petitions have been granted. The paperwork is ready. Today, Gloria will join the Brante family and become your father's lawful daughter. The entire family has gathered together, except for Stefan. Ever since you and Gloria got your way, your elder brother has spent less and less time at home, preferring to take prolonged trips or visit his noble friends. Gloria is standing by the fireplace, clothed in a modest black dress quite unlike her usual trousers and men's jacket. Even her hair is braided today. For the sake of this momentous occasion, she is behaving as reservedly as she can, though she often glances at you with gratitude. Father steps forward solemnly and makes a speech as the family watches in profound silence. Come closer, Gloria, and become a branch of the Brante family tree. Gloria kneels humbly before the man she has called Sir Robert all her life. He holds his hand in front of her face as the ceremony demands. From this day forth, you shall be a full member of this family, your fate now bound with ours. Bear your name with honor, and may the Brante family prosper with you. Gloria leaves a filial kiss on the fingers of his outstretched hand. Now rise, Gloria Brante. Slowly, gracefully, confidently, Gloria rises to her feet. For the first time since childhood, she looks and seems like your older sister. With a smile, Father at last embraces his adopted daughter as a parent. Gloria warmly responds to his embrace, then hurries to you. Darren, we're legally brother and sister now. I owe it all to you. I swear I'll never forget what you've done for me. I promise I'll be more careful from now on. I'll only do what's best for the family whose name I bear. You answer her without hesitation. Gloria has always been your family. All you did was make it official. Your sister squeezes your hand in excitement. This is her day, the day she has been waiting for all her life. Oh shit. Loud thudding steps echo in the foyer. The door swings open. Stefan stands on the doorstep. Your elder brother, now haggard looking and covered in the dust of the road, casts a tired gaze over the faces of the family gathered around the fireplace. So, it seems I've arrived at the very moment of triumph. Would you look at that? Already celebrating the day the Brante family lost its honor, are you? Gloria stands between you and him, brave and confident, hands on her hips. She has no reason to be afraid of Stefan's fury now. We are celebrating the fact that no member of this family can now toss another member out on the streets. Stefan allows himself a bitter chuckle. Gloria, how typical of you. You've cut off your nose to spite your face, and my brother Darren is just the same. You've all robbed our bloodline of our noble future. You've ruined everything Sir Gregor Brante paid for in sweat and blood, and if it weren't for him, we would have nothing. Stefan's face grows crimson as he says these words. It takes him a moment, albeit a brief one, to compose himself and continue. But what's done is done. Our honor is already lost. From now on, I will have no further connection to your family. I'm leaving for the capital. Nothing will ever make me visit this home again. I suppose it's time for my farewells then. Stefan, wait. Don't be ridiculous. You're still my eldest son and heir. And what, pray tell, am I to inherit, father? You've robbed us all our hereditary title right when it was within our grasp. But I don't blame you. You're just a victim of my brother's schemes. Or do you disagree, Darren? Stefan delivers this furious tirade from the doorway, one step away from leaving. What will you tell Stefan before he departs forever? I can't maintain family ties with him because even though my unity is greater than or equal to 10, greater than or equal to 5, I don't have enough relation with Stefan. It has to be greater than or equal to 1. If I did that, Jesus, the reputation would be obliterated. Stefan never to return. Gloria Brante never to return. Several ties with Stefan. Oh, well, damn. There's that. So Gloria Brante will get her destiny. Unity will go down by 1. Reputation will go down by 10. Good God. Well, that sucks. And I don't think I can recover that at all. So, oof. Sever all ties with Stefan. But I'm the heir now. Coldly, you snap back at Stefan that if a title was all your brother ever wanted from this family, then he doesn't deserve to bear the family name. All Stefan has brought to the Brante family is strife, animosity, and scorn. For the sake of his ambition, he was ready and willing to sacrifice anything, anyone, all under the pretense of protecting his family. Good riddance. There's no place for him here. Stefan meets your lengthy speech with surprising calm. When you are done, a bitter grin appears on his face once again. You will never understand what it means to be a nobleman, Darren. But you are right about one thing. This is no longer my concern. It's high time I did something for myself. I'm still the son of Amalia Elborn. Should I ask my uncle Sir Elborn to grant me his family name, he will not refuse me. I shall forge a new fate for myself, one without any of you in it. Stefan studies each of you, as though trying his best to remember this moment forever. His face reflects a fleeting moment of regret, but it's quickly displaced by decisiveness. I cannot reject this blood tide. It flows in my veins now, but I can reject all of you. Sir Robert Brante, you are no longer my father or my patriarch. Darren, Nathan, you are my brothers no more, and I will make sure everyone knows it. Stefan removes a ring bearing the family seal from his finger and hurls it into the roaring fireplace. Then he glances at each of you one last time before turning away and walking briskly outside. A moment later, you hear hooves clattering against cobblestones, growing quieter as they recede into the distance. And then, long silence marred only by the crackling of the fireplace. Father collapsed into a chair, overcome with grief. My eldest son has rejected our family. Ye gods, what did I do to anger ye so? Gloria steps carefully toward her foster father. Her hand comes to rest on his shoulder. He puts it to his face as the tears begin to flow. I hoped Stefan would come to accept our decision, but a hereditary title means more to him than our family's happiness. We won't make the same mistake he did. We will weather the scorn of the noble families with dignity. We will remain united in this home no matter what. Yes, Father, that we will. Your family does their best to console each other, but the celebration is ruined. Eventually, you go to your room to sleep, but a flood of memories keep slumber at bay. You remember Stefan leading you by the hand through the yard. You remember sitting at the big table on the porch poking each other in the arm. You remember marching through the streets of Anazet at night looking for Gloria. And now Stefan has left his family home and Anazet, never to return. This is the last you will ever hear of the man who used to be your elder brother. Alright, so Gloria and Robert are okay. Their affections are high. We still have bad blood. We've severed all ties, in fact. And now we're disgraced. Well, that's lovely. So you mean to tell me that after everything I did, this is just going to completely undo every last bit of that? Are you fucking kidding me? Branded by dishonor. We're not branded by dishonor. The family isn't in ruins, but the reputation has to be greater than or equal to 8. And this is just going to completely ruin that. Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Robert adopts Gloria and she becomes a full-fledged Brante. Okay. Stefan exile. Stefan had left the house of Brante and went to seek his fortune in the capital. I'm sorry, but once again, I what is the point of diplomacy? What is the point of all these high-ass stats if one event can completely undo every last bit of it? I get it. I could understand that there is a heavy disgrace there, especially with Stefan leaving. But even in that situation, how come I cannot convince Stefan to turn around and stay and to put all this aside? Or whatever, you know, or even frame him. My manipulation and my scheming is high. Why not try and frame Stefan and say he tried to do some crazy stuff or whatever or something? But Jesus Christ. Like you just literally undid the entire playthrough if you want to be ennobled by the sword, but whatever. And now we get the mark of dishonor. Wonderful. Recent events have dealt a crushing blow to the reputation of the Brante family. You've slipped into the realm of infamy and disgrace. So far, the noble families of the city have patiently endured your transgressions, but now you have lost face in their eyes. Noble society is eager to bring your every dusty scandal back into the light, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we know all of this, whatever. Wonderful. And then you can't even do anything about it. Like, what was the point? What was the entire point of having all this? If you even try and help Gloria out at all, it turns into a shitty situation. The only situation you can do is marry her off to somebody who she does not want to marry, and that's it. And hopefully that'll turn out okay. But yeah, that's the only thing you can turn around and do. If you turn around and actually try and help her, oh, you lose your brother, who then turns around and screws your entire family over, who then gives your family the mark of dishonor, who screws everything else up for your family. That's just stupid. I'm sorry, that's real stupid. Yep, we're branded by dishonor. Wonderful. I could understand a +4. I could probably even understand a +6. But Jesus Christ, really? Oh, great. Thomas's wedding. This is a day you remember well. It has begun. Well, you know what? We've already seen this, so I'll just go ahead and skip past all of this. Alright, so I've gone ahead and got past Thomas's little thing or whatever. It was literally the same thing. Nothing changed. So why that didn't change at all, whatever. I'm not sure. He fled. For whatever reason, he fled from his old job, but okay. Alright. The last few months have been marked by a welcome absence of quarreling at the Brante estate. Your only concern these days is the price you have had to pay for this peace. Today you come home late, wrung dry after a day of work and worry. Everyone is sound asleep. Oh, this is the situation with Nathan, in fact. Well, let's get to the decision, shall we? Oh, I can't stop him, okay? I would have needed theology to be greater than or equal to 8, and I would have needed relationship with him, which I don't have. And I can't call mother because I can't call mother. I mean, she's here, but I can't call my mom. So stupid. Oh boy. I mean, I guess maybe this will work out for him. I mean, I lose some willpower. Nathan becomes hopeful, and of course I get +1 with him. So let's see what happens. You take a step back. The life that Nathan is about to take belongs to him. He is free to do with it as he pleases. May he finally find an end to his desperate search for meaning. Nathan whispers a word of gratitude, barely audible, then a sharp exhale as he gets ready to strike. His hand guide the dagger awkwardly through the air and into his chest. The sharp tip reluctantly sinks into his flesh. A weak yelp escapes Nathan's throat. He staggers and falls, blood oozing out of the wound. Moments pass and Nathan's body dissipates as his mortal frame dissolves as he has departed to the commune with the twins. What awaits him in the hereafter? You pick up Father's dagger, carefully wipe it clean, and put it in the drawer of his desk where it belongs. When the skies begin to grow bright before the dawn, you go to the family crypt to welcome your brother back. Nathan is already there, lying atop the granite slab, even made anew. His naked body is still just as thin, awkward, and feeble. He suddenly stands when he hears your footsteps. His eyes are shining with otherworldly light. I spoke to them, brother. I dared to address them as my soul rose up. I begged the twins for forgiveness, and they heard me. They did. And the elder, he reached out to me. He wanted to respond to me. I know he did, but the younger sword stopped us. It cut the bond between us, and I fell. But I saw compassion in the elder's eyes as I fell, and he followed me. He shall descend to the lands again. He shall witness our suffering and bring his mercy, and then the world will change at last. Your younger brother shivers, almost convulsing with cold. You wrap him in a black cloak. Together you return home before sunrise. No one in your family ever learns of Nathan's lesser death. Nathan stops wasting time in taverns with suspicious characters. He spends every day in ardent prayer, again and again. His quiet voice speaks of the elder's coming return. The family watches the drastic change in their wayward son with great surprise. So now he's hopeful and he has sympathy for me. My theology went up 1, my willpower went down by 5. Okay. The year's 1144. We only have 1 more year. Okay, the year's 1145, excuse me. A storm on the horizon. For over a year now, Anisette has been steadily simmering with unrest, like a soup pot over a well-stoked flame. Commoners flock to the squares in droves. The mobs grow bolder. Demanding new freedoms and protection under the law. The last straw insurgents commit brazen acts, hoping to overthrow the authorities. The noble gentry insisted that every mob be dispersed by force. They are ready to fight for their ancient privilege, sword in hand. In spite of this enormous pressure, Overseer Gaius Tempest remains highly reluctant to allow any bloodshed. But the common people are already too desperate. Even the age-old fear of the nobility's might is barely enough to keep them in check. More and more people are rejecting their lots and converting to the new faith, not to mention other stranger, more esoteric teachings and beliefs. New secret societies and clandestine gatherings appear every day. Printed pamphlets litter the streets. Yet no one is rushing to subdue the citizens or punish the city, for now. Father Leonard has transformed the Temple of the Silver Tree into a new believer stronghold. He is no longer afraid to break the ban on preaching the new faith. His sermons now openly challenge the old faith. It seems the Church of the Twins is unable to recognize its great mistake. The lots must be abandoned as relics of the past. The Twins granted everyone the freedom to choose their own path in this world, and I will not stop until this freedom is recognized throughout the Empire. The next patriarch of Magra must be chosen by the parish, not the clergy. This is the will of the Twins, and it must be ours as well. Leonard intends to amend the old order of the church and become patriarch. His opponents, however, are beset by internal struggle and strife. The Inquisition is fighting a myriad of heresies, more of which appear every day. Not even the highest ranks of the faith are free from suspicion. The new faith, meanwhile, is steadily growing in numbers. People no longer fear being damned to the foot of the pillar for rejecting the divine design. The streets are restless and dangerous. Minds and souls are beset by confusion. The authorities argue and bicker among themselves. Conspiracies plague the city. Time marches on and the change is coming. It cannot be stopped. Can you find a way to guide it in the right direction? The weight of a new age now rests upon you. Okay. Church still at a schism. A family matter. For over a year now, Anazet has been slowly simmering with unrest. The feud between the estates, between the old faith and the new, between the law of the empire and the noble traditions. Tensions are at an all-time high, waiting for the slightest spark to catch fire and burn. Even your family's affairs have been affected by the growing unrest. It is during these troubled times that the future of your family will be decided. And because I just, for whatever reason, got screwed for my honor, the family reputation thing or whatever, I can't turn around and become a noble. Gotta love it. Father shakes you awake early in the morning. He is excited, clutching a letter bearing the imperial seal of the Tempest Dynasty. I swear to God, if this thing turns around and makes me lose and have to break up the family. Oh God. Wake up, son. Come to the sitting room. A letter has come from Overseer Gaius Tempest. He gingerly breaks the seal and unfolds the missive. To the Honorable Brante family, I, Gaius of the Tempest Dynasty, Overseer of the province of Magra, have given due consideration to your petition to have your bloodline ennobled by the sword. You are expected in 1 week at Castle Oniri, as are all petitioners for the sword, where you shall hear my decision firsthand. After finishing the letter, Father turns to you. He looks fatigued. Well, son, it's time for us to be honest with each other about our family. What do you have to say about this? Where do we, the Brontes, stand after so many years? What hopes do we have for the future of this family? Alright. Well, we can preserve the family, so there's that. The past 7 years have been marked by many life-changing events. The rare joys, the frequent fights, the arguments, the attempts at peace, the losses. Sometimes you've managed to change their minds, and sometimes you have not. But your decisions have made you realize what matters most to you. The future of the Bronte family must be decided here and now. Well, we can't become nobles of the sword because my reputation got obliterated in that last decision, which was so fucking stupid, but whatever. We can't become members of the Overseer's entourage, once again, because reputation. Gotta love it. We can preserve the family. That will boost our unity up to 10, and Gregor Bronte will be pissed in death, whatever. And I don't have to worry about severing all family ties because the unity is not less than 2. So let's preserve the family. You reluctantly confess to Father what both of you already know. It is clear what Gaius Tempest's decision will be. Your family hopes of being ennobled by the sword are long gone. You had to maintain your family's reputation and fortune and peace at home. It all proved too much to handle. Because you chose not to screw your sister over, and your brother decided to be a dick in the process. Great writing. After expending too much energy resolving the strife within your family, you had little strength left for the rest, no matter what your stats say. With a sigh, Father agrees. You're right, my son. We couldn't weather the storm that came upon us. Who could even hope for a hereditary title after that? I can only imagine how your grandfather must be raging in the hereafter. The Brante patriarch uneasily considers what comes next. But our family is still together, still whole. It pains me to think that there were so many losses that could have been prevented. I must confess, at one point I even feared there might be nothing of us left, but we're still a family. Very well, we will abandon the pursuit of the nobility of the sword for our descendants and tend to the Brante family itself. Nathan peeked into the sitting room, his hair is tousled. Father, Darren, what happened? Nothing, Nathan. Life goes on, that's all. Your weary father embraces his two sons. The last of the embers that were once the letter from Gaius Tempest smolder away in the fireplace. It was almost too much to bear, but your family ties have been preserved. The family will live on. Alright, so I got 15 willpower, and that's it. What do we have now? This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Unrest has to be greater than or equal to 8. I haven't betrayed Sophia, and Sophia has the gunpowder. Oh god, what did she do? A deafening rumble. The tinkling of broken glass. The pavement shudders beneath your feet. Another explosion. Sophia, what has she done? You struggle to understand what is going on. People stare in horror at the white cloud rising slowly above downtown Anazet, Magistrate O'Vermin's mansion. You run toward it. The impact of the explosion is visible from several districts away. Houses and fences are crooked, and a grotesque mosaic of shattered glass litters the street. Shrieks of terror, moans of pain. The air is still. A massive cloud of dust and gunpowder smoke blankets the entire noble district. People stumble out of the haze covered in gray dust. They look like shadows. Everything seems colorless. Only the blood oozing from the victim's wounds is of a vivid scarlet hue. A crowd of onlookers have already gathered around the ruins of Vermin's mansion. You notice Alita among them. She can hardly suppress a smile. This is the most powerful blow against the tyranny of the Empire I've ever seen. Where the magistrate's mansion once stood, there's now only a gaping hole full of rubble. Ripped from the ground by the blast, the pavement around the house resembles cracked eggshells. The neighboring homes have lost their exterior walls. Their rooms are exposed. Gendarmes pull the bodies of those who have met their true death out of the wreckage, wrap them in coarse fabric, and load them into wagons. You feel sick. You've never seen so many dead bodies before, mutilated in the explosion. They look only vaguely human. You force yourself not to avert your gaze. How many of them deserve this? How many just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? Servants, coachmen, simple passerby. Most of them must have been quite old, but still. Did they really have to fall victim to Sophia's plot? Sophia chose the perfect target. The murder of Vermin, an extremely powerful nobleman of ancient lineage, will not only remind the simple folk that the last straw is fighting tyranny, it will also instill fear in the defenders of the Empire. Did you make the wrong choice? Should you have refused Sophia and prevented this disaster? It's too late to change anything now. Well, will you look at that? Remy Vermin is dead. The commoners are in power now. Ah, shit. Unrest is in riots and mayhem. I swear, if this better not screw me. This better not screw me. The magistrate died in an explosion arranged by Sophia. This is gonna screw me, isn't it? The greater good. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Unrest is greater than or equal to 9. Sophia has grown close, and Philippe loyalty, whatever that is. It is nighttime. The print shop is empty. You sit by a lit candle awaiting Sophia's arrival. She finally returns. The door creaks. You can barely discern the smoldering embers of her pipe in the darkness. Her languid footsteps approach. The glow of the candlelight falls across Sophia's face. Hey there, Darren. You take a step forward. The familiar smell of tobacco tickles your nostrils. Sophia glances at the misrecord, her farewell gift. Still got it on you, huh? That's good. You need it soon enough. You raise your eyebrows inquiringly. It is time I told you everything. Sorry I couldn't confide in you until the last minute. I see I was wrong now. What in the world is she talking about? That moron Philippe had no idea there was a real revolt brewing right under his nose. Well, everything's finally ready. We're ready, Darren. The last straw is tough now. Real tough. We've got firearms, manpower, an idea, and most importantly, the people's rage. There's no stopping it now. We just need to point it in the right direction. Bam. You ask Sophia where she intends to direct this rage. She stares at you. You cannot tell whether she is surprised or dismayed. What do you mean, where? At the Empire, of course. We're gonna declare war. We're gonna fight until there's nothing left of the old order. We're gonna fight until all those nobles are wiped out, until the world finally changes. The half-measures guys, like Egmont, want ain't gonna make the world better. We're doing this for the greater good. We're gonna take the first step tomorrow. Philippe thinks he's achieved his goal. He'll order us to start his fake revolt, but we're gonna start our own revolt, a real one. We'll take Philippe out, then we'll finally be free. Sophia takes your hand. She clenches it hard. It's so hard it hurts. I want you by my side, Darren. It's payback time. Her eyes are fixed on yours. The golden reflection of the candle flame flickers in them. Okay, I can try to talk her out of it. If I do, unrest will go down by 4. There's no fucking way I'm doing that. So I will agree, and then there's the secret plot. You tell her that you will always be together. Tomorrow you will kill Philippe and be free at last. Sophia pushes you onto the desk. The entire world disappears except for her smoldering lips and the flame of the candle. Don't you do it. A sleepless night. Even late at night, the streets of Anazet echo with chatter. The city cannot sleep. You cannot sleep tonight either. Advisor El Faro sent you a surprising note a few hours ago. He's coming. You hear slow, steady footsteps accompanied by the tapping of a cane. There's a knock at the door. Philippe enters the print shop. Sophia quietly follows him in. You exchange a nod. The print shop is crowded despite the late hour. Father Fod, Alita, and the other workers observe Philippe uneasily. Oliver is there too. He acknowledges the Baron with a polite nod. You suddenly realize that Philippe no longer cares at all if the last straw members see his face. You walk into your office with Philippe and Sophia and lock the door. Well then, Brante, I hope your people are ready. It's time to put our plan into action. They're ready. Just give us the word. Excellent, excellent. Soon our song of victory will reach its final note. Our road has been a long once, much longer than we thought, but now the end is in sight. I had a word with the overseer, and in the end I managed to convince him that Elborn simply cannot maintain order in Anazet. We are just one step away from being granted special authority for the secret chancellery. All we need is an excuse for action. Prepare your people and take to the streets. And when I finally get that authority, we will eliminate each and every traitor to the Empire. Egmont, Leonard, Elborn, all of them. But those scum will probably try to flee Anazet. I'll need the people you've recruited throughout Magra, Sophia. There are more than enough of them. I'm glad to hear that. How much time do you need to prepare, Brante? You shift your gaze from Philippe to Sophia. She has been standing behind him all this time, a silent shadow with her head held high, her eyes trained on you. Philippe's cane taps the floor impatiently. He's waiting for an answer. The advisor is right. The day you have worked for all these years have finally come. Are you ready? What will you do now? So, there's only one option we have here, but we could proceed with Philippe's plan if we had a spy network greater than or equal to 8, unrest was greater than or equal to 3, unrest was also less than 8. Very specific. You could go into hiding. You didn't have Sophia's secret plan, and the unrest... Well, yeah, if we didn't have Sophia's secret plan, we could have went into hiding. I can only imagine that wouldn't have worked out too well. You can ask Egmont to hide you if the unrest was greater than or equal to 7, and you didn't have Sophia's secret plot. Or you could ask El Vermin to hide you if your spy network was greater than or equal to 7, Mayor Egmont was in danger, and you made the deal with Remy. So, yeah, who is dead as a doornail right now. Again, these are some very specific things to do, which is, you know, I've already said my piece about it, whatever. Murder this jerk. You meet Sophia's gaze. You nod. It's time. I'm asking you a question, Brante. How much time do you need to get your people ready for the revolt? Your people have been ready for a long time, you say. Sophia walks to the door and slides the bolt open. It clangs loudly. Your loyal people enter the room one by one. Alita, Claude. Each of them is accompanied by 2 muscle-bound, well-armed young men. What in the younger's name? Who are these people, Sophia? What is the meaning of this? Have you seriously decided to start before I even leave? You low-born punks can be so difficult to work with. Shut up. You've said enough. Get him. The burly young men grab Philippe by the shoulder on either side. Alito wrenches the cane from his hand and tosses it into a corner. You won't be needing this anymore. The advisor grows pale, even as he tries to retain an air of composure. So mutiny, is it? And what are you going to do next, Sophia? What's your plan? I still have all my lives. I'll be back tomorrow, and none of you will ever escape me. I can assure you of that. Are you going to drag your little insurgency to the foot of the pillar along with you? Have you really found a backbone now? Your little sacrifice changes nothing. You know that. And you, Brante. So you're staying loyal to this two-faced backstabbing trollop. Trust me, I really didn't want to. I would have preferred to kill her along with you. But you know, I didn't write the story. Or did you happen to buy into the lies you were feeding them? Big mistake. A swift blow cuts him short. Sophia knees Philippe in the groin. He doubles over in pain, gasping for air. I thought I told you to shut up. What happens next is none of your concern. We're going to put this man on trial, Darren. The People's Court will judge him. I want you to carry out the sentence. You unsheath Sophia's gift, the misericord. The People's Court? What kind of dog and pony show is this? Another blow convinces Philippe to remain silent. He is forced to his knees. You form a circle around him. Philippe El Ferro, for crimes against the people, for tyranny, for the murder of innocents, we, the People's Court, hereby sentence you to the true death. What say you, judges? The people gathered around you throw their fists in the air. They shout as one, death. The People's Court has spoken. You stab Philippe hard in the chest with the dagger. The blade hits the advisor between the ribs and sinks down to the hilt. Pathetic farce. Philippe collapses to the door. Blood begins to pool under his body. The rebels step uneasily away from the growing puddle. Sophia stays where she is. Her eyes remain fixed on the advisor's corpse. A moment passes and then another. The dead body remains in place. Philippe has met his true death. You cannot believe your eyes. The People's Court, whatever it may be, wields the same authority as the prefecture. Your word has become the law. Philippe has left this world forever. Sophia wipes the sweat from her brow with a deep breath. She straightens her shoulders. The yellow sparks in her eyes gleam brighter than you've ever seen before. We've got our work cut out for us now, Darren. Gather everyone, down to the last man, the new believers, Egmont's miners, the homeless, the farmers. Tell them all to get ready. Anyone who supports us needs to hit the streets and unleash their rage against the nobles and the empire. We'll use the ruckus they raise to deal with the rest of the secret chancellery's agents. First thing first, we'll purge the last straw of Philippe's bootlickers. Retribution is inevitable. That's the law of the land. And now it's time for all the nobles and Arcanians to pay for their crime and stand trial before the people's court. But what will you do with Philippe's body? Nail it to the chancellery gate. We don't need to hide anymore. With that, Sophia leaves the print shop with several of your men. The fringe of her dresses, still soaked in blood, drips a crimson trail on the floor behind her. And now Felipe El Ferro is dead. And Sophia's all over. Great. We actually lost some wealth? Interesting. Don't you do it. The last straw's revolt. Freedom, so intoxicating, so easily sliding into lawlessness. The desire for freedom infiltrates minds and hearts like a poison, leading people to commit monstrous crimes. Freedom is like fire. In untrained hands, it can burn everything down. The Chancellery now bears the banner of the last straw, a hand clutching a lantern, its beam cleaving the darkness. The body of Felipe El Ferro is chained to the Chancellery gate for all to see. There is a wooden weald on his stiff neck, the mark of the secret Chancellery. The mob is eager to pelt the advisor's corpse with stones. The gendarmes seized Mayor Egmont in the first few hours of the revolt. He was swiftly sentenced to true death for treason against the Empire and beheaded. Jesus Christ, so I can't do the thing with that. Okay. So you can have situations where you meet the requirements for different things, but it just won't pan out that way. For whatever reason. Okay? I would have preferred to be given a choice about that, but of course, again, I didn't write the game. His head was put on a stake in front of the lesser quorum to frighten the people into submission, but it did not work. The common people have seen Mayor Egmont as their protector for years now. His death has only enraged them. The people fill the streets. Tempers run high thanks in no small part to the last straw's provocateurs. A spark has fallen on dry tinder, and now the entire city has caught fire. With Philippe dead, the authorities are helpless against your uprising, just as planned. The Legion, the noble militia, the prefecture gendarmes, they can do nothing to stop the revolt. Your guns and gunpowder have crushed their every attempt to restore order. Sophia's little army has defeated the Empire's first attempts to resist your movement. And now, for one brief moment, the last straw holds sway over the entire city. Together with Sophia, you step out into the Chancellery's tall stairs in the evening sun. The square is crowded, teeming, full of people, all of them shouting ecstatically, the time has come to pass judgment. Sophia raises an arm. Her eyes are glowing brighter than ever before. The crowd falls silent. Listen, everybody. The nobles will never dare to oppress the commoners again. We've got weapons. We've got men. We are the last straw. The old world order is about to come to an end. Today they tried to stop us on our way to freedom. They will be punished by the people's court. One by one, your people drag Philippe's thugs out before the crowd and make them kneel in the dust. You spot Moss among them, glancing around like a cornered beast. The mob screams in their faces. The people you see before you are loyal lapdogs of the secret chancellery. They all serve the man who now hangs on the fence behind me. Today we will put them on trial. Your men line up before the prisoners. You give the command. Ready. Please, Darren, spare me. I want to live. I was always faithful to you. I don't deserve to die. enemies of freedom. For crimes against the people of Anazet, we, the people's court, hereby sentence you to true death. All right, calm down, Robespierre. You raise an arm. Aim. The gunmen train their muskets on the prisoners. What say you, judges? The people in the crowd pump their fists in the air. The cacophony of disparate voices merges into one. Death. The people's court has spoken. You drop your hand. The guns fire all at once. Bodies fall to the ground. The mob watches in awe as blood begins to drip down the chancellery stairs. The bodies remain forever dead. And then they scream in terror and glee, a choir of voices so deafening it makes the nearby windows shake. The word of the people has become the law. We cannot be stopped. We have tolerated the tyranny of the empire for far too long. The time has come to take our destiny into our own hands. Those imperial bastards can't stop our righteous revolution. Arm yourself, people. Your freedom is in your hands. You walk down the stairs, accompanied by the cries of the people. Friedman, take the men and tell everyone to leave the square. Then get to the city walls. We need to get all the gates under control. Gaius Tempest is probably already on his way here with his battalions. Aye, aye. Sophia turns to you. Although utterly exhausted, she still manages a smile. I told you I was nothing but trouble. Even I don't know what's gonna happen next. It doesn't matter anymore, you tell her. Now you will either win or hang. No two ways about it. Sophia laughs. Well said. I got an urgent job for you, Darren. We've done well, but our foothold here is still too weak. If our enemies decide to work together, we'll be crushed. We need to split up. I'll arm the new recruits. Friedman will defend the walls. You keep an eye on the city. We have to finish off our enemies here in Anazet and find new allies to support us. You promise to do everything you can. Sophia's fingers lightly brush against your cheek. Her lips find yours briefly. But there's little time to waste. I love you. She leaves the square before you can manage a reply. You leave as well. The assembled gendarmes and garrison battalions soon retake the chancellery and most of the central districts. Night falls, and for a brief moment, the city is quiet once more. So, Mayor Egmont is dead. Remio Vermin, also dead. The commoners are in power now. There's complete unrest in Magra. There's misery and devastation, and the schism with the church has grown even further. But we might have the power of the new faith here soon. Oh God, what now? Oh yeah, I got the last straws right. So there's that. And I got an achievement for that. Alright, so that is the end of chapter 4. And after this, we will turn around and we will be heading into the revolt. But I'm going to turn around and end it right there. So, if you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I have a lot of things on the channel, and I will be having many things in the future as well, including the conclusion of this. So yes, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the video. I will be more than happy to address them, whatever they are. And yeah, so this is going to be interesting. I don't know if I necessarily like the ending to the peacetime. Again, I wish there was a moment that you had in order to turn around and kind of choose who you were going to go to and go from there, and then, you know, consequences be damned after that. But, you know, again, like I said, I didn't write the story, and things just kind of happened. So anywho, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.